what's going on. It's preaching. So truckers are quitting in masses, getting out of trucking. And you know what? I 100% agree with them. I do. I agree. Y'all should quit. Be a quitter. Do something. I agree 100%. Because the less truckers that we got out here taking these here loads, the more money I get. So I wholeheartedly agree. Quit. It's too hard. It's too frustrating. Too much work. Too many regulations. Getting talked about. No disrespect. Be getting disrespected all the time. No place to even use the restroom when you go to shippers and receivers. You gotta go inside the little hot box. Cars road raging against you. You don't need that. You don't need that type of stuff inside your life. I think you should quit. I really do. If you've been contemplating it, quit. Why go through all that? You don't need to take all that abuse. You don't need that type of abuse in your life. Quit. Away from your family, away from your kids. Quit. Go back home. I agree with you. Listen, I'm a firm believer. Yeah, I always been, if I did not like the job, I'm not going to work the job. Period. If I dreaded getting up every day to go to work, that's not the job for me. Now, I haven't had that many jobs in my whole lifetime. What, 1, 2, closing in, Chick-fil-A, Sonny's Barbecue, Stonewood, Macaroni and Grill, Flanagan's, and Club Med. So I had 7 jobs since I was 17 years old. 7 jobs. I'm 47 right now. So in 30 years, I had 7 jobs. And listen, when I get tired of a job and I'm not happy and I'm not feeling my desires are not being fulfilled at the job, it's time for me to leave. If you're not happy, because when you work in a job where you're happy at and you enjoy coming to work, you're going to be good at it. You're going to be good at it. Why? Because you enjoy it. When you dread a job and you don't even want to be there, you're not going to do a great job. Because you don't even want to be there from the get-go. That caring is gone. I used to tell my cooks, my other chefs when I hire them, the moment you feel like you don't want to come to work, you don't want to give me your all, do us both a favor. Just quit. I'll give you an excellent reference. Matter of fact, you can look for a job while you still planning on quitting, and I'll give you an excellent reference. I even have you on the phone with me while I'm talking to him, giving you an excellent reference to the job. Why? Because I'd rather somebody who wants to be him working, be him working. If you getting stressed out, it just messes everybody up. Because you become sour apples. You get into it with other truckers, no matter where you go. You know, now you start to be the disrespectful one. Somebody say hey to you, you don't even say hi back. You don't notch still. You ready to cut somebody out. Every little thing just ticks you off that another trucker does. You blow every little thing out of proportion. Listen, man, life is too short for all that. Y'all know I didn't have quadruple coronary artery heart surgery. Listen, it is not worth me getting riled up off of another trucker. I'm like, man, you got it. When you trying to cut me off, get inside the fuel out, I just let you have it. Here you go, man. I'm not gonna worry about it. What you say to me, I don't care. what you say. I just walk by you, smile, say, hey, God bless you, and keep going. It's not worth my time. It's not worth the stress. It's not worth my blood pressure going up. It's truly not. Because you're not stopping me from making any money. So why do I care? Because you having a bad day. I got to have a bad day because you having a bad day? No, I just let you go. Like, if you don't like the job, quit. So I agree with the people who's quitting and they can't take it no more. Yeah, quit. Don't be out here driving angry. You see how these truckers be? You already going to speed limit on cruise control. They act like you doing something wrong. They fly inside the other lane, pass you, and then they cut you off. Like, they mad at you because you going the speed limit. Like, excuse me for going the speed limit. It's the speed limit. I got my cruise control going on. Y'all somehow they just cut right in front of you. Like, they mad at you because you going the speed limit. I'm like, what? You got 2 lanes past if you want to go fast. I'm not understanding that. They just mad for no reason. So I agree with them. Quit. Yeah. We got too many truckers out here already. Quit. Between these foreign drivers that's not driving trucks no more because they scared or whatever, they getting put out of service. They canceling their visas and all this other kind of crazy stuff. With that small amount leaving the industry and the people that's quitting, you're gonna get better loads. Trust me, I know. I just gotta book the load from Ohio to Oklahoma. They had to post it up for $17.50. That's what they had to post it up for. I talked to the rep, to the broker, and I wanted 21 for it. He was like, nah, he can't do that. He can get this load moved for $17.50 all day. I said, well, all right, no problem. Now, this was yesterday. I said, all right, no problem. Well, just so you know, I'll be in the area. I deliver 25 miles away. I can be there to pick it up. No problem if you change your mind. I'm not looking for a load until tomorrow. By tomorrow afternoon, I'm gonna start looking for me a load coming out of Ohio, going somewhere. I don't care really where it goes, as long as it's a 2-day load, right? So then he calls me at 11 and say, hey, am I still interested in that load? I said, I'm still interested in that load. I can get it for 21. So then he go, I can come up with 2, but that's it. That's all I got into it. I said, well, sir, you have a wonderful day, and I'm pretty sure there's somebody going to be able to take that load. Sorry about that. So I said, I'm sure there's going to be somebody that's going to be able to take that load for the 2 for you. No problem. I said, I got to call a couple brokers because I see a couple loads I'm interested in. I'll talk to you later. I hang up the phone. 4 minutes later, he called back and said, hey, yeah, I can go ahead and do that 21. You want to get it done for 21? I said, sure. Yeah, let's get it done for 21. No problem. Then, just like that. Like I say, I try to do $1,000 a day. You know, this load that I'm on right now, I'm taking this from Arkansas to Ohio, paid me right at $1,000. The load I had on Monday coming out of Florida, that load paid me $7.40. It was right at $1 a mile, right? Then I had it went to Tennessee. Then I did head from Tennessee over to Arkansas, which was 148 miles to pick this load up, going over there, and then it paid me $1,000. So after I deliver this load tomorrow, which will be Wednesday, the load from Ohio that's going to Oklahoma is paying me $21.50 on that. So I'm still averaging my $1,000 a day that I like to average, besides when I come out of Florida. Because Florida, like I said, between $650 and $750. That's about it. That's all you're gonna get. Between $650 and $750. That's it. Because that's all you can get for a 1 day load. You get more for a 2 day, but it's not worth taking a 2 day load out of Florida. So I normally just get like a 1 day load, going to like Tennessee, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Alabama, somewhere around there, a 1 day load. But then I get a load coming from there and start working on my $1,000 per week. You know, so that's how that normally works. And then I look for a load paying at least $2,000 on Friday for the weekend load. You know, so that's how I normally do that, and that's how I average, you know, between 55, well, really 53 and 58 when I come out of Florida, when I'm going home and everything like that. So, like, if I was to go back to Florida, especially if I get a load going down to like Miami area or something like that, then yeah, I get that load for about $3,000. Okay, that's easy. I can easily do that. But then on Monday, it's back again, finding a load on Monday, getting me out of Florida for between $650 and $750. If I stay out, that's when I can go up the average my 65 to 68, because my Monday load going somewhere, I'm averaging $1,000. So by the time I do the load on Friday, I'm going to be at least $4,000, between $4,000 and $45,000, depending on where I'm going. Because some loads I get for like $1,150, some loads I get for $1,250, some loads I get for $1,350. So I just normally just do the average. So that's how I always end up when I say out between 65 and 68. Can I make more than that? Yes. And how can I make more than that if you ask? Well, all my loads I do is under 40,000 pounds. I try to really stay up under 38, but all the loads I do is under 40,000 pounds. They all light loads. The loads that are 44,000, 45,000 pounds, 43, they pay a lot more. Those loads, yes, I can get those loads for $1,400, $1,500 for a day load. Easily get that. But I try to stay up under that because I have an older trailer, and I already had to replace some wood inside this trailer because the floor had gave out, and I had to replace some cross members as well.
On the right to Wendell H. Ford, Western Kentucky Parkway
on the trailer as well. So I try to keep everything low. Why did I replace the cross members? Well, because after the second time when the floor buckled, I'm like, is it buckling because the cross members is bent? So when you just look up under there, it doesn't seem like it's bent, and they seem like they were straight, right? So when I get up under there and I look at another angle, I had about 2 of them that was dented in just a little bit. You saw in the frame where it dented in a little bit. You really had to look. So it was in the area where the floor had buckled with some heavier loads. So I had wound up replacing 6 cross members. Why 6 when you had 2? Well, the other 2 already been compromised. I want to make sure I get the 2 in front, the 2 that was compromised because they was right next to each other, and then the other 2 behind those 2, and go ahead and just do 6 of them. So that way I didn't have to worry about the other ones being compromised or taking more abuse. That whole particular section is done. And then I haven't had any problems, but I also since then wasn't getting any real heavy loads. Okay, so I really wasn't getting any heavy loads. Now there are not that many light loads out there paying a lot of money, because why they light, they're not even filling up my whole trailer. It'd be like 3/4 of the way, halfway done. It'd be stuff like that. So that's why the load's paying just a little bit lower than the 12, 13 that could do. You know, so that's how I kind of like run with that. So, but I have noticed that in certain areas where, because I said the states that I run, the area that I ran, I've been running for almost 5 years now. October the 20th would be 5 years that I've been running the same lanes. Nothing changed. I've been running the same lanes all the time. Then go off course a couple times? Yes, a couple times I went out there to California, New Mexico, Arizona. You know, I went out over to Utah, Colorado a couple times, Iowa, South Dakota. So I have veered off some, but that's because it was a weekend load, and the weekend load was paying real good. Go out there, and I already pre-booked another load for that Monday, getting me out of that particular area too. Normally when I book a load on Friday, I'm going to book a load on Monday at the exact same time. So I already got a reload getting me up out of the area where I'm booking the load. But I run the same areas. We're running the same areas, the same states, the same lanes, going most of the time going to the same shippers and the same receivers. I've been doing the same thing for like 5 years, so I know what the lane pays. So that's why I'm able to book how I book. You know what? What I might do, said about the other one, I'm still going to do that too. The other thing that I said I was going to show you when somebody tried to scam me and they was acting like it was a broker, and they really wasn't. I'm going to do that the next time I get home. Also, I'll do a video with my rate comes for this week right here, because I plan on going home this week right here and give you the rate comes and how I do it. Because if you're wondering how I do it, most of my loads be open windows, and that helps me to be able to do how I do it. And then what I do after that is I find like a later load. With me being able to find a later load, you know, that helps me get my rest. The one day runs, yeah, I worked the whole 14 hours pretty much. Last night I did 13 hours 53 minutes. I did. By the time I woke up, it was time for me to go so I could make it to my delivery. I had an open window on that particular load too, and I had an open window on the pickup for the load that I did, so it gives me plenty of time to have my whole clock on how I do certain things. You know, so that helps out a lot. For instance, this load I take straight to the receiver. I'm gonna get to the receiver by 12 o'clock tonight. It's 7 o'clock now, and I got 6 hours and 45 minutes left on my clock. So I do have enough time, you know, to make it. But I get there at 12. My appointment is at 10 o'clock. So I would have a whole 10-hour break by times for me to deliver the load. And then again, the load I pick up is 25 miles away, and that pickup time is for 2 o'clock. So what I normally do is I allow 2 hours, 2.5 hours for unloading, and then that'll probably take me a good 40 minutes, 45 minutes, something like that, to go to 25 miles. And then I get there early. Now, if I get done early and get all that stuff early, then I'll check in early as well, so I can get on the road. But it would be easy days because it's just 1,000 miles that I'm going, and it's a 2-day run. So I can do 500 miles tomorrow, and I can do 500 miles on Thursday. You know, so I have plenty of time to rest of it. But I do these types of runs and things like this because, like I said, I know the lanes. I know the loads coming out in a particular area, so I know. I'm so close to Dallas, coming from Oklahoma, I can get loads out of Dallas, Corpus Christi. I can get loads all out of there real easily because I'm right there on the line. Dallas is just 105 miles away from where I am delivering to. So that's not a biggie. And there's loads from Dallas that goes down to Florida that I take all the time that pays about $2,300. So I kind of know where I'm going because I know the freights, because I've been going to the same areas for almost 5 years. You know, so that's why I can do what I can do. And with more people quitting, the more loads will be available. So when I'm booking loads, I have less competition. So that's why I say, yeah, if y'all want to quit, please quit. by all means, quit. Don't be out here messing up stuff for everybody else because you want to do something. It just didn't work out, right? You tried it and it just didn't work out. It don't mean this is for everybody. You know, this is not a scapegoat where I'm just gonna get inside of trucking and now that's gonna be your scapegoat for everything else. And now you're getting in here and now it's not working out like you thought it was gonna work out. You're away from your family, like, man, no, I'm not getting paid that much to be away from my family and things like this. Which is true. That's what I'm saying. You wanna quit, quit. Hey, I agree with you. Quit. Try something else. You know? That opens the door for everybody else that's in here in trucking and trying to make it happen. That's what it is. Somebody else who's going to give it its all and try to make it happen. Is it hard? Yeah, it's hard. Of course it's hard. But some people don't like to work hard. Y'all been there. You've been at your job. And you know everybody at your job works totally different. Got that one sorry person at your job that everybody know is sorry, not as good as everybody else, slower than everybody else. What makes you think you come in trucking and it's not going to be like that inside of trucking? It's like that in every job, right? Every job got that one or two people there that just not as fast as everybody else. Do they do an okay job? Yeah, they do an okay job, but they the slowest ones. They know how to do the job and they can do the job, but they just slow at it. They just not as good as other people. Well, in trucking, it's the same thing. You got some people in trucking that know how to make it work and that understand how it works. You got other people in truck that don't understand the system and don't know how to make the system work for them. You do. That's how it is. I mean, I don't try to say that I know everything. I don't know everything. I know what I do, though. I know what I do. Okay? Me. Talking to me. I know what I do. And what I do it like I like to do it that's best for me. The system I got works for me. My system may not work for you. You got to find what system works for you. But my system works for me. It pays all my bills. I'm making money. And I'm happy with the amount of money that I make. I talk to dispatchers all the time, right? And then I would say, well, we can get you more money. Listen, I'm happy with the amount of money that I make. If I'm telling you I'm making between 65 and 68, which I had to prove to a couple dispatchers before they lost. But if I'm telling you I'm happy with how I run and the amount of money that I'm making, why are you trying to be like, well, you know, if I book your loads for you, then you know you can make like $75,000, $8,000. Yeah, but you don't know how I run and how I like to run. You don't know the weight of the load I like to carry. You don't know the directions that I like to go. You don't know the areas that I want to run and the areas that I don't want to run. You may like running in that area, so you get paid more money because you're running in the area that I don't like to run. And I'm okay with that. I am. There's other areas that I can run that I can make more money. Yes, you're absolutely right. I could run in different areas and make like $75,000 to $8,000 a week. Yes, I could. But I don't like to run like that. I don't. I had a conversation with the dispatcher today about that. And I'm saying, listen, I don't care about all that. Okay, money don't make me, I make money. That's how it is. How I run is good for me. Why? Because how I run, I can get back to my house if something was to happen in less than 2 days. I can make it back home. So I don't like to go out more than 2 days from my house. In any direction. I don't like to go more than 2 days out of my house. I don't like to go to New York. I don't like to go to Massachusetts. I don't like to go to New Jersey. So Maryland is it. I don't like to go to, would I go to New Jersey? On the outskirts of New Jersey? Yes, but not going in. I don't like going to those particular places. Can you make more money going there? Yes. It was a load today that my wife was telling me about, because she keeps seeing these loads going to Massachusetts paying real good, and I said, I told you I don't like going to Massachusetts. Certain places I don't like to go, so I'm not going to get the better paying loads going to those particular places. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the area that I run, because I make the kind of money that I want to make. I don't like going inside those areas when you paying $4.24, $4.34 for some fuel. When I go in the other direction, I'm paying $2.99 for some fuel. You know, so I'm finna pay $1.33 more in fuel just to go inside this particular area? No, I'm not finna do that. When I was teaching my wife about dispatching, I'm like, well, you got to look at this part of it. Look how many, this load is paying this. Look at the miles. Look at the rate per mile. Now look at the rate per mile here. Now look at the fuel lane and how much the fuel lane is over here to go here. And look how much the fuel lane is going to cost for me to go here and then come back and go to the other way. So I have to bring up the charts, the fuel charts, and it shows the price of fuel going all the way to that location and leaving that location going out compared to going somewhere else. And when by the time you run the numbers, I save almost $270 going in the other direction instead of going towards New York and Pennsylvania and stuff. So when you're looking at the same amount of miles, now I look at, well, how much more I'm going to spend in fuel. By the time you take that away from how much the load is paying, this load over here, going towards Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas, I'm going to net more money over here because of the cost of fuel. I see a lot of times people with these dispatchers claim that they dispatchers that they didn't got, and they finna quit because they can't find a good dispatcher. They never learned how to book loads for themselves, and they just spent all this upfront money to get inside of trucking just to quit because they don't want to figure out how to make it happen. You don't want to call people. You don't want to humble yourself and like, hey, listen, I don't know this. Could you help me out to understand this? Nobody don't want to humble themselves to get up. I tell the story all the time. When I first started my business, I paid $1,000 for a trucking business consultant and $1,000 for a trucking attorney, for a transportation attorney. Not to mention the $600 I paid to the CPA, a trucking CPA. So I invested to get the information, all the information that I need. Notebook, I had a whole bunch of questions because I'm paying. So I had all the questions. I'm writing down every single thing, getting all my answers and getting everything like that. Looking at all different types of truck management software systems. Which one's going to be a good one? I went to YouTube and seen tutorials on these, and people talk about different ones and stuff like this. Same thing I did like ELDs and trying to find different ones. You know, I try to do a whole bunch of different stuff. And like I'm telling the dispatcher, I don't like to go in this area because I don't know nothing in this area. He's like, well, what do you mean you don't know nothing? I said, the area I run, I know where all the tire shops is at. For new tires and used tires, besides going to Love's, Southern Tire Mart, the TA. No, I know where all the other smaller places at that has those tires and stuff like that at. I know where a whole bunch of repair shops is at along that whole lane in route. So if I need a truck repair, I know where I can stop and get a truck repair and stuff like that done inside that particular area. Not too much roadside because I don't like breaking down on the roadside. So I'd rather get stuff done if I can help it. You know, so it's like, no, I don't know everything, but I try to prepare myself as much as possible to be able to get the job done and think about what ifs. I know other trailer repair places. I can take the trailer and get something inside those particular areas and things like that if I need to get something fixed out there on the road besides going to the utility you know, the maker of the trailer, the Great Danes and stuff, the Hyundais. You know other smaller shops that does all those trailer repairs and things like that too on the way. So it's like I learned throughout the years of where to go for this. And where I learned that from two of my friends that I grew up with that been in the business for over 20 years. I'm talking about like been in the business like for 28 years, 27 years been in the business. When I first got inside and then my truck was having problems, I called him, hey, do you know where I can go for this? Yeah, hey, you go to this here guy, tell them so-and-so sent you. Yeah, hey, it's this place over here, you can go here. So I was able to call somebody and he was able to point me in the right direction, where to go to get it fixed. So I'm not going to the dealerships and stuff like that. Somebody that can get me in and get me out. I had people that I could call and ask questions. They was able to point me in the right direction on where to go to get stuff like that fixed there. And whether they learned that by being on the road, driving in the same place, knowing where to go. Same thing, you know, secret places where you can park in, when you go inside the same lanes and stuff all the time. So when the rest areas and the truck stops is filled up, when you know this is a little warehouse where you can go, where it's still like kind of like in and out traffic and a whole bunch of people is out there parking, and you know where you can go and you can just park out there and stay there for the night. Man, I done that at some with Dixie's, what they call CNS's. I done it at some Publix. I done that at here in Tita. I done it at Kroger's. Man, I done it some places. Sometimes I go to some of these warehouses that's open 24 hours, have 24 hours shipping and receiving, and I just will park out there. Never was bothered, never was this. I act like I'm delivering because they had overnight parking. So I'm just parking there, act like I'm delivering the next day. Never get bothered, nothing. I do my break, I take off, and I just leave. I know a couple places where I can do that, take the stuff in. So, you know, I worked for Warner for so long, and some Dollar Generals that I didn't park there overnight. Because I knew what time the managers and stuff get there. I'm like, well, shoot, by the time they get there, I'm going to be gone. So I parked inside the parking lot and stuff. Or I go behind the plaza where you deliver it, and I park behind the plaza like I'm delivering to one of the stores and stuff, because I just know the plaza. So you just learn these kind of things when you was out here on the road. That's why I like going to the same places, the same areas all the time. It's very familiar with me, and it's easy for me to do. You know, but if you're not going to go through the struggles of the road, go through the pains, the learning curves, and you just quit right away, and you really didn't give trucking a chance, you got people quitting out for 1 or 2 years. That's not really giving trucking a chance. After 1 year, you really starting to just learn how to drive after 1 year. What I mean by driving, you know, just because speed limit is 70, but you see these curves coming up, and you see it's been sprinkling a little bit, you know, to slow your behind down when you finna go around this curve. Because the truck is slide out of control, right? So you start, your driving behavior gets a lot better the longer you've been driving. Because like now that I'm my own carrier, like I said, I don't have nobody I can call. If I park at the wrong area, if I go park at one of these Walmarts and then they put a boot on my window or on my truck tire, I'm the one who has to pay that $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, $800 or whatever it is. I'm gonna have to be the one who's got to pay that. I don't got a company that's gonna pay that and then take it out myself and then later. No, that's on me. So I have to make sure the places where I park is legal parking. I can't get no ticket. If I get a ticket, it affects my company. And then that's what you do not want your first 2 years. You don't want your CSA score to be going down, because brokers look at all that on your safety and see any violations, any tickets, or anything like that. So I got to make sure when I'm doing things correctly and I'm doing things right. Because what I do affect my business. And I'm trying to make sure that when my business is going, I'm going to be straight with my business. So I have to know all this particular stuff. When some people be like, well, you act like you know it all. No, I don't know it all. I know what I need to know to run my business. That's it. That's all. I still talk to other people that know. I still ask questions about stuff. People who didn't have the authority for a while, have been through some stuff. I asked them about stuff that they didn't went through, what they did, how they handled the situation when this came about. I don't know everything. I don't even pretend to know everything. But I do study, because the Bible says to study to show thyself approved. So you got to study if you want to do this. Why you having a business? I always say this a lot. You just can't be a trucker and you started your own trucker company and you don't know nothing about the business side of it. You think it's just because you can drive and you can walk the dog that that's the business side. No, it's a lot more business stuff you got to worry about. A lot more regulations you got to worry about, and rules and laws that you have to worry about. How you structure everything. I saw one trucker that doesn't keep everything separate for his trucking business and his personal stuff. Whatever money that came in extra, that's what he just paid himself. Well, okay. Once you learn these laws, like I did with the business attorney and the CPA, they call that piercing the corporate veil. When you commingling your finances between your personal and your business, you then pierce the corporate veil. So your LLC does not have any protections, meaning somebody sued your company, they also could come after you because you didn't pierce the corporate veil, because you didn't commingle your finances. Instead of paying yourself as an employee and keeping your business separate from you, no, when you commingle it together, you didn't pierce the corporate veil now. So now they can come after you personally. That's what I mean by sometimes you really got to educate yourself on this stuff. Because if you don't know, you doing something and you thinking that you are right because you done got an LLC. Well, you don't realize you're breaking the rules of an LLC that's going to make it easier for somebody to come after you personally. So again, that's why I've been trying to tell people. You want to start a business, learn what you can learn from it. Some of y'all probably didn't know that about piercing the corporate veil. No, so it's rules to this thing that you have to follow. So who's going to make sure you follow the rules? So if you don't know the rules, how you know what rules you're breaking? And you thinking you keeping yourself protected, but you're really not, because you didn't broke the rules that keep yourself protected. It's hard, yes. Any job that pays pretty good is hard. Any job. This ain't no little job where you're making $35,000, $40,000 a year. Any job that you're making a significant amount of money, you got to put in a significant amount of work for that job to be able to make that money. It doesn't get easier with the more money that you make. It gets harder with the more money that you make. So if you want to quit, quit. Make room for the ones out here that wants to do it, wants to put in the work, and wants to get the job done. It wants to make the money. People talking about, well, $1,800. They ain't no money. How you paying yourself $1,800? And I just be like, and I'm always like, that's what I pay myself. You may need more than $1,800 for you, but I don't need more than $1,800. Because while my business that keeps me running, that keeps me making the amount of money that I'm making, it's more important to keep running, to keep getting my business money. So in the future, if I want to do something, and when people need my business records and my bank statements from my business to see the revenue that is coming in and all the bills that I am paying, and when they want to see my tax returns for my business and show that my business is making money, that's how you get it. Having business credit is good. I got 100 right now on my business score. That's all good and dandy, But now they want to see, do your business make money? If you're taking all the money from your business is not making any money. So how you trying to get something through your business and your business don't make any money to purchase anything? So when my business now want to go and purchase a truck, I can show that my business is making money. This is how much money that's coming in my business. This is how much is left over in my business every single month. This is how much my business made last year. This is my last 6 months of P&L statements, and it shows my net profit for each month up until this time. I got all the numbers. So when I want to go buy myself another truck, I have all the numbers that I need for my business to make that purchase, instead of using my personal credit or anything to make a purchase. Why? Because my business is making money. I'm like, can I pay myself more than $1,800 a week? Yes, easily. I can easily pay myself $3,200, $3,300 a week. I don't need it. I'd rather my business keep the rest of that money, so my business is making money. That's what I'd rather do. I only need $1,800 a week, so I can be able to pay all my bills, groceries, the whole 9 yards, going out to eat with my family, date nights with my wife, and I'm still able to save $1,000 inside our personal savings, and that's out for making $1,800 a week. So I'm fine with that. I don't need more than that. The sacrifice you have to make when you have a business, you just expect not to splurge in your business for at least the first year. At least the first year. As a business owner, I can pay myself an ownership contribution at any time throughout the course of the year if I was to need any money for my personal self. So I can take whatever amount of money I have inside my business, pay myself out that money. If I want to take $6,000 out and pay myself as an owner of that business, I can take an ownership distribution and pay myself $6,000 to my personal for whatever I need for my personal, if I need more money. Again, it's your business. You got to think of it like that. This is my business. It's still my money. I still can use the money to get access to the money whenever I feel like getting access to that money. Why? Because it's my business. I don't got to ask nobody permission. 5 minutes, I can transfer myself $6,000 and categorize it for my bookkeeping as an ownership distribution, and pay myself another $6,000 put inside my personal if I want to do something with it, or buy something, or go on vacation with it, or anything. So it's okay for me to pay myself $1,800. That's what I mean by a lot of people saying things, but if you don't understand business and how business works, you won't have a full grasp of things. But you're ready to say a whole bunch of stuff inside the comments, and you don't understand business or how business works. Anybody in business or any tax people, ask them what I just said. Ask them, and they'll tell you, yeah, he's right. Ask them about piercing the corporate veil. Ask them about paying yourself out of your business or ownership distribution. You can pay at any time that you want to pay. At any time. It does not matter. So that's why it's okay for me to pay myself $1,800. It's okay for 1 week where I paid myself $1,000. I had to do that after my trucking store broke down. Instead of paying myself $1,800, I only paid myself, I think it was like $900 something I paid myself. Like half that amount. I can choose what I want to pay myself. Why? Because my business didn't make that much money, and I spent a lot of money, and I still needed to keep some money inside my business just in case I have another breakdown. Because you never know if you're going to have another breakdown. You truly, really never know. So I had to make sure my business is still keeping some money. I didn't need the money in my personal life. I had money saved up. I was ready to go. You know, so sometimes you got to look at all these things that people are saying. When y'all read the comments, you see what the comments are saying. You got people hating on people like for no reason. If I'm just telling you my life story, I'm not trying to mentor nobody. I'm not trying to do that. I'm telling you my life story, what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. And by me sharing what I'm going through, what I went through, my train of thought at the time, what happened after that, if you can learn from anything that I'm sharing, good. I'm not trying to sell you nothing. I'm not trying to sell no course. You look at any of my videos, I got quite a few of them. At no time I told anybody, hey, like, comment, and subscribe. Not one time. Why? Because to me, this is like a personal vlog when I'm out here doing things. Personal vlog of my life. And by me going through things, it's like a testimony. Okay, like the Bible said, we are to testify and tell others of the goodness of God. It's like a testimony. I'm just testifying about what I'm going through. And by what I'm going through and how God has kept me through everything that I'm going through. If that encouraged somebody, good. Be encouraged. That motivates somebody, good. Knowing that, hey, it may not work out, but let me give it a try and give it my all. And when life knocks you down, you just get back up and you just keep going. That's the difference. That's the big difference. Yes, you can quit. That's the easy way out. If you keep quitting every time life gets hard and you keep quitting, you're never going to achieve nothing. Because with all achievement, it comes sacrifice. It comes hardship, aches, pain. In every achievement, you have setbacks. In every achievement. Most businesses take losses before they have massive gains. Can you weather the storm? You got to understand everything about business. You got to understand about yourself. What is your risk tolerance? Because everybody's risk tolerance is not the same. I can take a $7,500 hit in repairs and maintenance in 1 month and keep going. A lot of people can't. That'll wipe them out. That would literally wipe them out. I can take that. You know, I'm like, cool. I can really take that risk tolerance. That'll wipe a whole bunch of people out. Now you ready to quit. Now you ready to give up. Now you ready to go back and be a company driver. But I always say, was you managing your funds correctly? Or was you taking everything that you earned for yourself? Just putting a little bit away? No. You can't do that. When I budget myself for the first year, I budget myself for me to only save $1,000 a month. Pay myself $1,800. And that's with me going out. If we don't go out for 1 month, if I stay out on the road a lot, or we don't go out, that's extra money back inside the pocket. So I'm saving more than $1,000 because my $550 going out budget for the month, I didn't deplete. We ain't go out nowhere. We ain't eat out nowhere. My wife didn't buy a whole bunch of lunches. We got money left over. So that's more money that we saving up for the month. And every month we start off again, brand new, straight slate. So whatever else money that we got, that stays inside the checking account. But that $1,000 is still going inside the savings. Now the checking account is still stacking up little bit by little bit because we're not spending all the allotment that we had for all the stuff that we need for the month. We're not spending it. So the checking account is steady growing because we're just not using all the money that we budgeted for. But the money is there for us that's coming in. But the $1,000 is still saving inside the savings account again for the next month. But the checking account is still growing as well. See how that works? And you got to be strict to the budget. Set the budget and stay on the budget. No matter what, stay on the budget. Stay on the budget. Like the month of October, next month when I start this contract, okay, I'm not going to be paying myself $1,800 a month for the month of October. I'm going to bring that down to $1,200 that I'm going to pay myself. Why I'm going to do that, if you ask, is because I want $2,400 to go inside my maintenance to build up my maintenance account a lot more, right? Because the contract that I'm on, after the week of December, Christmas week, they're closed and they're on vacation all the way past New Year's. So that week and a half that I'm out, I'm going to put my truck back in the shop again. I'm going to have them go through my truck, the whole 9 yards, and make sure everything's good. I want to make sure I have enough money in there. So if they say, hey, I need this, I need that, I need to do this, I need that, I have the money to fix what I need. You know, when you start noticing a problem somewhere, you want to start paying attention to it. That's what you have to do. All right, I've been on here long enough, man. It's already over 50 minutes. Y'all be blessed.